Hello vinyl community, welcome to my channel, and if you've been there before, welcome back. My name is Richard. Today I will show some new acquisitions. I have not had a chance to analyze all these new acquisitions to great detail yet, but I thought I would rather jump on and make a video, talk about some music, helps decouple from other things, and otherwise I'm afraid it would take too long to share. But new job is taking away from some hobby time, shall we say. Anyways, I will start with some vinyl. I will end on some CD notes, CDs that, yeah, if I have reasonably gotten hold of them on vinyl, I maybe have opted for that, but sometimes it's impractical or not possible or very, very expensive. So you have to make some choices. So before I show any vinyls though, I'll just remind people of that I do believe there's Bandcamp Friday coming up, I think on the 7th. Now I'm realizing I may be goofing in this the week after, but I do believe it's on the 7th, but easily determined online. If you're not familiar, Bandcamp is a platform where many bands, many very well-known and famous bands, as well as more obscure or not so well-known bands, have pages. You can buy their music in various digital formats, not just compressed MP3s, but also different lossless formats. And you can also use their pages often to order their vinyl, CDs, etc. And sometimes cassettes even, if you are into that. And on Bandcamp Friday, which has been, I think, once a month, generally first Friday of the month, or maybe first Friday in the first full week of the month, through much of the time when we've struggled with the pandemic. And it's been a way to help out musicians more. Bandcamp waived their fees for that Friday, and all the money goes to the artists. So a way of giving them a little extra support when live gigs is not a major component of music life at present. So I use Bandcamp for both kind of checking out bands that I think I might be interested in, and sometimes I order through there, and I also order through there to use the stream on my phone or have on my computer for different situations for listening. With that, I will show some albums. I'll probably do a little quicker showings than I had done in my past videos. I will start with Balmorhea. And many of you may have seen videos with this album shown already. The album is called The Wind. It's from 2021, so fairly recent release. Double album, 45 RPM, I believe, on Deutsche Grammophon. Nice gatefold, nice presentation. Really intricate art on the backside of inside of the gatefold. You may also be aware that Michael at Noted and Archive is one part of Balmorhea. Wonderful soothing music. I think he described it himself as kind of neoclassical style, maybe, and maybe a little new sound for Balmorhea. I must admit this is the first album I own by them. I need to spend a lot more time on this, but I have been enjoying it so far. I have been streaming it a great deal. Wonderful music, check it out. And also check out Noted and Archived VC channel if you're not familiar with it. Then I will skip into some more familiar territory, perhaps, or at least what some of you would expect from me. I will start out with some krautrock or progressive rock, Amon Duul and Wolf City, probably one of the more accessible Amon Duul albums, or this is Amon Duul II to be precise. At least if you look at some of their older albums, they have some, I think some 80s stuff that was a little more poppy, that I don't think went over with the fans too well at the time. I was a little surprised because I had I think it was an iTunes version of this album. I kind of drifted away from iTunes the last few years, but it had I think 3 more tracks than the original album on the vinyl, and I just didn't know why I hadn't thought to do the research. But still great, I think, essential krautrock rock, if you want to call it that, is probably the category that most would put on it. So this is a re-release on clear 180 gram vinyl. I think good luck finding in the original release. My dad has an original release that he bought himself, I think, and he has seen them in record shows back in Norway for quite a pretty penny, so he might be sitting on something good there, though his might have been played a great amount of times. Then an album that I actually did not have. I've heard much of the music, of course, before, but probably different live albums and such. This is Red by King Crimson. I think they're their fourth studio album. So Robert Fripp, Bill Bruford, also from Yes fame, and John Wetton. John Wetton, really one of my favorite progressive rock vocalists. This is on 200 gram vinyl. I believe there's a one newer remaster. I think it might be a Steve Wilson remaster, but this sounds great. Probably my favorite on this one is Starless, though I find the studio version of Starless to maybe have a little too kind of muted or rounded off sound on Fripp's guitars. Some of their more newer studio versions, or concert versions, live versions, his guitar sound is not as muted or muffled, if you will. I also like to try the main riff for Starless on my own guitars. I'm sure the neighbors appreciate it, but it gives me joy at least. So maybe we should have my family come on once and give their opinion. Then to another album that I am sure is all over BC and other places in the music world as of late. This is Pink Floyd live at Nebworth. Came out just a few days ago. I just got it in the mail yesterday. This is on 45 RPM. Gatefold. It says 45 RPM for enhanced audio quality. I have listened to two sides. So this was a 1990 benefit concert. It says in aid of the Northrop Robbins Music Center and the Brit School for Performing Arts and Technology, recorded in Nebworth House in the UK. Side A is Shine On Your Crazy Diamond, parts 1 through 5. Great Gig in the Sky, which features Claire Torrey, who also was the vocalist on Dark Side of the Moon, I believe, the studio album version. Side B is Wish You Were Here and Sorrow. Sorrow, perhaps not for the non-avid Pink Floyd fan, may not be familiar with that tune so much. I believe it's from the Momentary Lapse of Reason album. Side C is just one long version of Money, but there is a fair amount of empty space on side C as well. Some little different guitar riffing. getting into money a bit. A kind of interesting version to listen to. Side D, Comfortably Numb, and Run Like Hell. This is Gilmore, Mason, and Wright edition of Pink Floyd. This is so after the breakup with Waters. Other artists you may recognize on here, at least I recognize, besides Claire Torrey, is Guy Pratt on bass. Guy Pratt played with Pink Floyd and David Gilmour span for many years. He is presently, COVID aside, I guess, also part of Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets band. They play the earlier, more psychedelic part of Pink Floyd music. And Guy Pratt also has done tons of other work with other artists like Madonna, Michael Jackson, Robert Palmer. Yeah, I read a whole long list and I'm forgetting a lot of it, but very prolific bass player. And other things. He's also acted in some movies, has enrolled in movies, and written the books. I think it's My Bass and Other Animals, if I recall correctly. He also has a neat YouTube channel where he does some episodes of what he call Lockdown Licks, where he shows some of these bass licks for songs that he's been involved in throughout his career. Check it out. It's a great bit of fun. He sits in his room in his attic, I think kind of a little home studio, and share some bass licks. Not just Pink Floyd, other things as well. I think the sound on this is great. Really set a great soundstage, I think, in my basement on my equipment. Maybe sound a tad bright, which is just something that my equipment has a tendency to do, but not annoyingly bright, if you will. And again, that could be my equipment, not the record. Then this one, based on a recommendation from Pete, it sounds from the West Coast. This is a Goosa. It's a Swedish progressive rock band, contemporary. This is a self-titled album, very much a Scandinavian prog rocky cover with some deep woods and some mystical characters jumping around. I believe from 2017 on what must be a Swedish label called Kommun 2. I think you probably recognize it as a Scandinavian progressive rock instrumental music, all instrumental. Let's say maybe a couple of spots, yeah, I can hear maybe the Swedish influence, little Swedish folk influence, but I don't know that it's overly prevalent. Great recommendation from Pete, and I appreciate it. My wallet didn't quite as much appreciate it because it's not the easiest to get a hold of, but was not horrendous. A little tough to get a hold of here in the US, but I also was happy because I was able to get kind of a nice, green turquoise, not quite turquoise maybe, but a kind of lighter green color. Great music that I need to spend a lot more time on. And then I will have to end with something Norwegian, as I often tend to have on my videos. This is Elephantnine, a Norwegian jazz, or I think maybe some fusion too here, band. This is a very recently released as well from 2021. I think it's a lot of it is I think of it as fusion, but fusion jazz, some other elements in it. I think a lot of it I hear some Mahavishnu orchestra in here, but it's not just that, and some different use of keyboards and synths, I think, than maybe what you'd expect from Mahavishnu, certainly. It's just, I think I can hear some influences, perhaps. One name that's familiar to me here is Ståle Storløkken, who plays, has collaborated with different bands. He's also in another band that some of you may be familiar called Motor Psycho, which is a progressive harder rock band from Norway, a band I need to get more familiar with myself. Ståle Storløkken also has collaborated, I believe, a great deal with a very well-known Norwegian progressive, but maybe more jazz guitarist and composer called Terje Rypdal. Terje Rypdal has been active since '69, and I think Storløkken has been working with him for I think maybe more in his more later years. Rypdal probably is the artist I have the most single albums of. It's usually him working with different jazz artists, also some classical-minded folks, but really beautiful guitar player. But back to Elephantnine. Great album. You may guess from the cover, perhaps, that this is on Rune Gramophone. If you like Rune Gramophone music, what they issue, you like Scandinavian-minded jazz, progressive jazz, some fusion, you might like this album. Just a few things for some brief lockdown music, if you will. Where I live, there hasn't really been a mandatory lockdown, if you will, but spent a fair amount of time working from home over the past several months. We're in the office now, but Änglagård, Swedish progressive rock band by many, regarded as some of the best you can get. Probably particularly this one, their Huberts album. Also got their Buried Alive, a live album. Great Scandinavian progressive rock music. Good luck getting a hold of it on vinyl, I think. If it exists, if you can't get a hold of it, you're paying a pretty penny. The CDs can be bad enough if you get them in really good condition. I see them in the US where Huberts goes for like $60+ dollars. I was able to get a nice used copy for much less than that, but something way different for me. Less TPO, and I don't know letters in French or in proper French pronunciation, but and I don't even know how to say the title of the album. Tranche de Temperature, maybe. This is a more avant-garde-ish rock, progressive rock music. Opens up the mind to some different sounds than a lot of other albums I had. Gotta mention this one I just listened to a lot. This is kind of a mood modifier for me. Venograph Generator, live at Rockpalast in Leverkusen, 2005. Just a great live album. I think maybe one of the last ones with David Jackson on saxophone. But great Venograph compilation. And finally, I bought a CD because I remember it from my youth. My dad bought it. I don't think he cared for it too much, and I know it's gotten a lot of flack. But Vangelis See You Later. I think the album is supposed to really discuss the stresses of life, or about the stresses of life. I think this has been perfect in the last several months, and particularly some tunes in there that I've listened to a lot. I know, again, it seems to get a lot of flack, but I've really been enjoying it, and maybe also some nostalgic component there. So that was maybe some whirlwind, more, at least for me, more whirlwind notes on some albums and music that's been on my mind lately. I hope you're all doing well. Take care. We'll see you next time.